Hello everybody. We are back again to our May session, hashtag physically fit. This is our last session, which is hashtag energy healing. And today we're just going to be healing our energies. And see, we have trained our bodies, we have eaten nutritious food, we have done this therapeutic sessions, therapeutic work, and all. Now our bodies are balanced. So what do we do with these balanced bodies? Now we are just going to do this manifestation of this flesh. No, a body is actually a bridge between the physical and the etheric or the quantum. So today we're going to be opening ears on what this body is. What is this body in the first place? Why am I taking care of the body? Why am I exercising? Why do I have to eat a nutritious food to feed the body? And what do I have to go through these therapeutic sessions? Why am I balancing my body in the first place? Today you're going to understand how the body is actually a bridge, a portal into the quantum. Let's listen to Angela Whitehouse today, taking us through energy healing. And as usual, I am wearing myself. These are the May editions, the black bottoms, baby, the black bottoms. And if you're interested in owning one, you want to buy or you want to learn how to make them, follow us at Beacon of Light Craft on every social media platform. And also, if you want to get them for free, you can just comment on my summary video, and the compelling comment is going to win themselves a pair of this May edition, color of your choice, baby. So while we wait for Angela to either accept or join, Instagram is doing its shenanigans again. Let's just be patient. Let's just be patient and wait for the connection to just take up. And if you're watching this live after it's been recorded, just fast forward through this waiting period, because Instagram takes a while to connect. I don't know why, but just be patient. Just be patient. We are here. Okay. While we wait for Angela, you can just check out my earrings. This is the May edition, the black bottoms. The black bottoms. These are 100% recycled. They're made from raw waste material, and now they're upcycled into these buttes, May buttes, the black bottoms. The black bottoms. Let's just wait. Let's wait for Angela. Again, if you are watching this after it's been recorded, just fast forward through. It will obviously connect. So let's wait. Just be patient. Be patient, everybody. Be patient, everybody. Be patient, everybody. Be patient, everybody. It would be worth it. We're just going to be talking about your body. Your body is not just this flesh. Yes, it is a flesh, but it's more capable. This machine called a body hasn't been researched thoroughly. This is a biological machine. It's a biological computer. It's not just a physical vessel to carry you from point A to point B. It's a portal. So today, let's go through. Let's delve deeper into this portal, how it works, and why. Angela will be taking us through that. So let's just wait for now. Let's wait for the connection. Let's wait for Angela. Let's wait for Angela. Oh no, it's taking a bit longer. Yes, black bottoms. Let's wait. And yes, it's okay to just fast forward to the part where we're actually connected. Okay. Let's try again. We will connect. Just patience. La 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 la. La 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 la. Yes, Angela is in our comment section. I see her. I just hope Instagram connects us. Angela, do you see my invite? Okay, let's try again. It says here you are unable to join. You don't let me send the request. Why? Oh, there it is.
Go.
There it is. There it is. Hi. Can you hear my? Am I audible? Am I audible?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can
Perfect.
perfectly. Thank
Perfect audio. No echoes whatsoever.
Wonderful.
There are no echoes. Are there any echoes?
No, all good. All good my side.
Amazing. How are you? Welcome to our world. How are you?
I'm so well, and thank you for having me. This is very
Oh,
exciting.
I know, right? I know it. Today we're addressing my niche. I love this topic. This is where I belong. Woo! I'm so excited. How are you?
I'm awesome.
I'm
Thank you.
excellent. I'm
Awesome.
excellent. Angela, can you please introduce yourself? Just tell us about yourself and why you feel like you're worthy to be cooking us today on the topic hashtag energy healing. Go, go, go.
Okay, well, my name's Angela Whitehouse. I am amongst other modalities, but my main focus is I'm a Reiki practitioner and teacher in Johannesburg. I have a holistic healing center called Angel's Touch in Blegari in Randburg, and I'm also the co-founder of the Reiki Guild South Africa, um, which is an amazing community of Reiki practitioners and teachers, but also one of our main aims is to educate the public on Reiki and what it can do for us. So yeah, so right up my alley. I love talking everything Reiki. I'm super passionate about it and what it can do for people and how it can help people. And yeah, so I'm very excited to be here, and I hope I can do it justice.
Woohoo! Yes, ma'am. We are here for you. Angela, please just cook us everything. Today we're talking energy healing. Just take us through everything. Cook us. Don't leave us medium rare. Leave us well cooked, please. I'll just mute myself here, quiet as a church mouse, and if you're done, I'll ask questions.
Okay, perfect. And I'm so used to with teaching people interrupting when they've got questions. So, and I can go on a little bit. So feel free to interrupt me if you've got any questions at the time. Um, so Reiki as an energy healing modality is it's all about looking after our health holistically. So when we say holistically, we mean as a whole. So that means physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. So if you look at Western medicine or allopathic medicine, we go to the doctor when we're physically sick. We might go to see a psychologist or psychiatrist if we've got emotional issues or mental issues. But they don't look at everything else, and everything is connected. And if we only look at one aspect of our health, so if we only look after ourselves physically, it's like the world can't exist if we don't look after water and air and fire. Sorry. If we leave out one element on the planet, the other elements won't survive, and it's exactly the same with our bodies. And what we also don't realize is that a lot of physical issues, not every physical issue, but the majority of them, start off from in an emotional place or a mental place or a spiritual, a lack thereof. So if you look at anxiety, and if anxiety is left unchecked, you are going to get bowel problems, you're going to get stomach issues, you're going to get ulcers. So the whole point is if we look after our energy if we look after ourselves emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, we should be fine. And the beautiful thing that I love about energy healing and Reiki is that, and it's funny, I don't call myself a healer. And the reason for that is I'm not doing the healing. I'm not. I'm a facilitator. Um, I'm facilitating your body's natural ability to heal itself. That is all I'm doing. And our bodies do have the most incredible ability to heal themselves. We've just forgotten. Because what we, over time and with the advent of allopathic medicines, and I'm not against medicine. I'm not one of those people that goes, there's no place for it. We firmly believe that we work hand in hand with Western medicine. But it's become easy. It's become easy. When we have a headache, we take a headache pill. It takes the symptom away. However, what is causing the headache? If we don't look at what the cause is, then we're just going to continue getting headaches, and we're just going to have to continue taking more and more and more pills. So that's kind of where this all fits in. And why I love it so much, and what I've seen it do for people, and how it can change your lives. And it's not just physical. When you're blocked and when things aren't going right, it seems like such a funny thing, but it's actually a really simple thing. What we have to do is raise our vibration, raise our energy, and change course a little bit. When we're blocked in something, when doors are closing, it's because we're not meant to be going in that direction. And the universe is trying to guide us, but we don't listen. We don't listen to our bodies. We don't listen to our intuition. We don't listen to what the universe is trying to tell us and the direction we're meant to go in. So you see, I told you I could go on for a little bit. But just to get to the basics about how Reiki works, is we are all made up of energy, and that's a scientific fact. So for even the scientists who don't believe so much in what we do, they can't deny the fact that every single one of us is made up of energy. Now, we have chakras in our bodies, okay? And the word chakra actually means disc. One of the meanings of it is disc. And the way I always describe or explain it to my clients is, if you think of your chakras as a computer disk, everything that happens to you, from childbirth, even past lives, if that's what you believe in, but everything that happens to you today and has happened to you is filed away in those chakras like a computer disk. Okay? What happens to a computer disk that isn't cleaned out regularly? It gets full, it stops working properly, it gets sluggish, it's slow, everything slows down. Sometimes they even blow up. Don't ask. I have a big problem with technology. Your chakras will not blow up. But like a computer disk, if we are not cleaning out that energy and we are not looking after that energy, those chakras are going to become slow, sluggish. The energy can't move through them. Okay. So then what happens is that either we get sick, okay, because then that manifests in the physical body as an illness, or nothing goes right. We're exhausted all the time. We don't have any energy to get through the day. Everything seems to just be a burden, and it's so hard to get through our day. So what a Reiki practitioner essentially does is, we're not using our own energy. We are channeling universal energy that is available to everybody. It basically comes through our crown chakra, through into our bodies, through our hands, and then through to you as the client. So the analogy I love to use with the client, because it explains it quite well, is, imagine that you are a bath full of dirty bath water, okay, which is stuck energy. I'm the tap. That's all I am. You turn on the tap, clean water flows into the bath, which causes the dirty water to overflow, and then you're left with clean water. So that is what we are doing. We are essentially, by putting our hands either on your body or just above, we can work either or. I love to work hands-on because I feel like touch has become such a thing nowadays. We just don't touch enough, and touch is healing. Just the very, I'm digressing now, but we do it in our everyday lives. When a friend is hurting, you hug them or you hold their hand and they immediately feel better. So touch is healing. So we place our hands on the different chakra areas over the client, and that is what we are doing. We are putting fresh, clean, beautiful energy into the body, which causes the stuck energy to overflow, and you're left with this beautiful, fresh, clean energy. The other thing I always say to my clients is it's not a magic pill, okay? It's not like you come and see me, you lie down on the massage bed, and after 45 minutes you get up and all your problems have gone away, okay? No, it's not about that. You are still going to have the same problems you had when you arrived, but the difference is, and just about every single one of my clients will say this, you can handle it better, you manage better, you feel like you are invigorated, and that whatever comes your way, you can now handle. The other thing that I do, and I teach my students to do this as well when I teach Reiki practitioners, I think it's a super important part about what we do is we need to empower our clients. So I often say to my clients, if you have to keep on coming back to me, session after session after session, and nothing has changed, then I'm not doing my job and neither are you, okay? So for me, it's about educating my clients on how to help themselves. So if they are stuck at work, if they are in a toxic situation, what can they do to change that? And my clients get homework. It's not up to me to fix you. It's up to me to help you work through whatever it is you've got going on. Excuse me. And then you can start improving your life. And in all honesty, you know, I can't say that I've ever had a client that hasn't felt something or felt a shift. Some of them have been massive. Some of them have been small but amazing. That's all they needed. And my best is when I get a skeptic. Actually, it's my favorite, because as long as they're open to the experience, because 99% of the time they get up off the bed and they go, I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that, and that was awesome. So yeah, it is just an incredibly simple but powerful thing. And one of my favorite things with my clients is when they get it, when they understand it, and it's like a light bulb going off in their eyes. And that's what I say to them. If people understood how simple it was to change your life, once you understand how energy works, everything changes. So on a basic level, if we're all made up of energy, okay, and there are different frequencies of energy. I don't really like saying negative energy versus positive, because some things are just low vibrational, but they're not necessarily negative. But there are different vibrations, and what happens is energy attracts energy of the same frequency. Okay, now something horrible happens to you, okay, and you go through something, and whatever it might be, but let's say you get retrenched from work. What happens? That has an immediate impact on your energy, okay, and it's going to lower the vibration of your energy. If we can't handle that, and if we don't know how to lift our vibration, we are just going to carry on attracting more and more crap. It becomes a vicious cycle. That's what it is. And that's why you find people who just continuously seem to be having the worst luck on the planet. And it is difficult to get out of. It is. But it's not as difficult as you think. And it's also what I say to my clients is it's very overwhelming. When you're at that bottom and everything is going wrong, it is extremely overwhelming to even imagine how anything could get better. One thing I always do say is we've got to allow ourselves some time to feel the negativity, to feel the pain, to feel like the whole world's against us. We're allowed to feel like that. We are human beings. I'm not one of those people that goes, oh, just be positive. Just put a smile on your face and off you go and everything's going to be okay. That's actually something I call toxic positivity. And it's not okay because we are allowed to feel like, why me? But then what do we do with it afterwards? So I always say, have your moment, allow yourself to feel like that. Then remind yourself that actually you have control. You have the power to change it. And then what you need to do is try and not allow yourself to be overwhelmed and go, okay, so I'm here and I'm feeling really, really horrible about it. I need to be here. Okay, that's way too far. That's never going to happen because you're reaching way too high and you're just going to get pulled down again. All you have to do is concentrate on taking your energy from here to here. That's all you have to do. Because the next thing what's going to happen is you're going to start attracting things on that energy wavelength. And then you go to the next step and then the next step. And slowly but surely up you go. So one of my tools to people is to say, okay, so you were retrenched and you've been applying for interviews all over and nothing's happening. Okay, that's hard. It's very hard. Can you wake up in the morning and find one teeny tiny thing to be grateful for? Whether it is only the fact that you have a cup of coffee in your hand and it tastes nice. Okay? One thing when we talk about gratitudes and that, for me, it has to be authentic. Okay? You can't sit there and go, I'm so grateful for my life, when internally you're going, it sucks. It sucks. It sucks. What you can say is, my life feels quite sucky right now. Okay? But I am incredibly grateful that I've got this cup of coffee in my hand and it's keeping me warm. That's it. That's it. And then you slowly but surely build it up. The other tool that I often give to people is talking to them about the idea about everything happens to us for a reason. And being a human is hard. But we are here as a soul to grow. So how do we grow? We grow from hardships, not from the easy stuff. If our life was just perfect and just rolled over, there's no growth there. Think of all the very, very, very successful entrepreneurs that we can think of. All of them, without fail, have failed multiple times. The difference is what they do is they don't see failure as a bad thing. They see it as an opportunity to learn. So if they fail, they pick themselves up, they go, okay, so what did I learn from that experience? I learned X, Y, and Z. What am I going to change now? And how am I going to do things differently? So let's use the example of being retrenched. Okay, let's look at that. Why was I retrenched? Was it the right fit for me? Okay, was it a toxic environment? Am I following my path, what I'm really meant to be doing? What have I learned from this experience? What do I need to now do to enable myself to manifest what I need? So you go from a victim place to actually being in control of your own life and going, I'm in control and I can change this. The difference in that vibration is massive, massive. And just by simply raising the vibration of your energy in that little, I will guarantee you, your day is going to be different. So let's take the example, okay, you haven't been retrenched, but you work in a toxic environment. Okay, every morning you wake up and you hate your job. So every morning you wake up and you go, oh God, I gotta go to work today. How is that going to start your day out with that energy? What you can do is go, because as I said, it's got to be authentic. All right. So what you can do is go, you know what? Yeah, got to go to work. Not my ideal. Okay, but you know what? I'm earning a salary and it's putting a roof over my head. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to carry on looking for something else. Starting your day out you're not lying about your situation, but the difference in the vibration of that energy is going to change your entire day. It's going to change your entire day. And when we learn to do that, everything then starts to change. Yeah, I was just sort of, the other thing I wanted to just kind of say is the universe is not inherently cruel, although it does feel like that sometimes. But when you get hit by things and hit by things, I always say that the universe is like a stern parent in a way. As souls, we kind of have decided on experiences we want to experience in this lifetime, and we kind of go, okay, this is what I want to learn. So, but we don't remember that. The universe does. So it tries to guide us in the direction we need to go. We don't listen. We don't listen. It's like a child that wants to stick its finger in an electric socket. Okay. So the universe is gentle at first and tries to guide us and gives us nudges, and we don't learn. So then what does it do? It comes and smacks us on top of our head and says, now you have to listen. Because when do we listen? When do we reach out for help? When do we do that? When things have all fallen apart. So that's one of the reasons that I'm like so passionate about what I do, because it really changes lives. And it's as I said, it's actually way simpler than people think it is. Yes. So before I go on for any longer, what else would you like me to talk about?
Okay, okay. Oh my. Firstly, I just want to say you're such a good teacher. Every time you mention something, I try to write down a question and then you just answer it automatically. So I'm like, oh no, this lady. No, I think you're coming okay. You're coming okay. So explain the concept of chakras as these discs that need to be cleaned out, rejuvenated, just like your basic DVD disc thingy. When it's full, you cannot add on any other movie or video, whatever that is. You have to wipe that out so that something new can come in, something vibey
Yes.
can come in. So I feel that, but one person may say, what if my ego, let's put it like that. Okay, thing is, I'm in my zone today. You're speaking my language, you're talking about things I'm passionate about. So I don't know, the audience, if maybe I'm using a language that you're not familiar with, be free to just ask questions here. Okay, let's take the concept of ego, what I can call what the flesh desires. Yeah, let me put it like that. Fleshly desires. So what if my fleshly desire is attached to this job, not because I'm earning much or not because of anything, but because it's my means to survive? It's better that I'm earning from hand to mouth. I'd rather leave from hand to mouth than to just quit altogether, because I don't even know if there's something proper for me out there. So one person would be like, okay, how can I move from that to this if my fleshly desire is not yet detached from this toxic
Environment.
attachment? Yeah, can you just, yeah,
I
yes,
think
yes.
in that case, it's okay to go. I'm just trying to think of the best way to word this. We'd have to look at why you're attached to that. Okay. Why don't, because very often we resist as human beings, and what we resist persists. So why are you staying in a job? And I hope I'm answering your question right. So let me know if I'm not. Why are you staying in a job, or why are you not seeing that there are other prospects out there? Very often that comes from limiting beliefs as well. So we've grown up being told we're not good enough, or we'll never amount to much, or we're not worth this. And that's the internal feeling inside. So I'm actually not worthy of anything better than this. That is where you find a lot of people stay in abusive relationships, because they're not worthy of anything better. This is what they're worthy of. So therein there lies the work that has to be done to change those limiting beliefs. Okay. Is that kind of what your question and where you were going with that? Am I answering it right? And yes, there's a lot of resistance. As human beings, we do resist. And healing on whatever level is not easy. It's not easy. It's simple, because I said to you earlier, it's simpler than you think. Simple does not equate to easy, because we have to look within. So we have to look at, what are our limiting beliefs? Where do those limiting beliefs come from? How can I change them? And very often it's actually easier than to go deep like that and to really dig deep. It's actually easier sometimes just to put it in a bubble and become the victim. Now, I'm also very careful about, in spiritual work, we talk about a victim mentality. And a lot of times it's thrown around, don't be a victim, you can change your life, all of that stuff, which is true. However, this is an add-on. I'm also not a believer in telling somebody stop being a victim, because especially in South Africa, okay, there are victims, okay, of hectic stuff. So I'm quite passionate about that. I'm like, this also quite a toxic spiritual trait. Stop being a victim. You being a victim, you can change this. You chose this. That's another one. And we did, as I said earlier, we do kind of choose the experiences. But to say to somebody who's been through something, don't be a victim, you chose this, it's hectic. Anyway, see, I get sidetracked. But the thing is, so people, it's easier to stay in victim mode than it is sometimes than it is to actually dig deep and change it. Oh, woe is me, the universe is cruel, everybody else is at fault, all of that kind of stuff. So, that is one of those things. So that's why healing is not for the faint-hearted. It's also why there are clients that I will refuse to see again. I have actually fired clients, not many, but if you are not going to do the work, then there's no point. Then you paying me for a session is, in my mind, me stealing money from you. And don't get me wrong, it's not like you come for one session and I'm like this headmistress that goes, but if you come to see me for a few sessions and nothing's changing and you haven't done any of the homework I've given you, then there's no point. So you have to be invested in your own healing. That doesn't mean that you can't be at the bottom of your barrel when you come for a session, because I get it. But you have to go, I'm ready to do the work. And then slowly but surely, we will talk through all the things that have got you to where you believe this about yourself, that you are stuck. Because that is what I hear the most. I'm stuck. And then I say to my clients, no, you're not. You're not a tree. You can move. You're not stuck. You're telling yourself you're stuck. And the more you tell yourself you're stuck, the more stuck you are. But the more you tell yourself you're not stuck, you might be choosing to stay where you are. And then there's a reason for that. But you're not stuck. So I think I answered your question.
True. Amazing. No, well answered one. I will answer. But then today we're talking about the physical body, so I don't want to delve deep into these limiting beliefs of some sort. No. So yeah, take us through. Okay, this person may say that I have exercised, I have eaten well, I have went through my monthly massages, my therapeutic work and all that. I feel aligned internally and externally. Now what? So yeah, that's where you now just pick up. Now what? Now I'm here. I feel balanced. I feel refreshed. I feel rejuvenated. Now what?
Well, then I think it's, if you're in that good space and you're looking after your physical body and your emotional body at that point, you're getting enough sleep, all of that kind of stuff. Then it's time to go, where do I look next? Is it spiritually? Is it, like what am I looking for? I've looked after myself physically, okay? Am I ticking all the boxes of looking after everything else? But I'm going to say something. If somebody is feeling balanced, then they are ticking all the boxes. If that makes sense. If you are not, you're going to feel it in one way or the other. So exactly what you're saying, you might get somebody who's exercising and eating right, okay, and on a very, very healthy, healthy road, but they're not accessing their emotions or their feelings. It's going to catch up with them. It is. It will absolutely catch up with them.
So how do I do that? I okay, thing is, this is my field, so I feel like I'm not doing justice. I feel like I'm being biased, but then fine. So, okay, I'm not accessing my emotional side and my spiritual side. Is there anything I can do? Maybe crystal work? What is even
Okay.
crystal?
Like so like basically what kind of homework would I give? Would I give it?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
So creativity, massive, 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 massive. And every single person is creative. They just might not realize it. And they may not realize it in the sense of people often think of creativity as being able to paint or draw or sing. No, cooking is creative. Gardening is creative. All of that kind of thing. So everybody should, in my opinion, be doing something creative. And at the very least, if you honestly believe that you do not have a creative bone in your body, then there are all sorts of things you can buy. You can buy adult coloring in books. You can do whatever, there's help out there. But creativity allows us. So creativity is actually a form of meditation. Okay, so it stills the mind. When you are doing something creative, you are concentrating on what you are doing at that very moment. So you are in the present, which is actually what meditation is. It's about stilling the mind and being in the present. And 99% of people, when I ask them this question, when you are doing something creative, you will stop feeling anxious. You will stop worrying because you're not worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow or what happened yesterday, because you are concentrating on what you are doing now. So everybody should have a creative outlet. It is it's high up on my board. Not only that, not only is it a form of meditation for those people who feel like they can't meditate, it's expressing. So especially I find this with men, because men are kind of taught to not express themselves, and then they're the first ones to say I'm not creative. It's a way to express your emotions. How are you feeling today? And I always say to people, it doesn't matter if you can't paint. Pick up a paintbrush. I do it. My mother was an incredible artist. I'm useless. I've got a little easel and painting on my patio, and I paint flowers, and they really look like a 3-year-old painted them. But I don't care. It makes me happy. It makes me happy. And if you want to just paint a whole canvas black because that's the way that you're feeling, go for it. Go for it. That is a way of expressing your feelings. So yeah, so that is a big one. Journaling is a huge one, but a lot of people battle with that. So a big one of our chakras that is probably in so many people, one of the worst is our throat chakra, which is communication. It's all about communication and about being heard. So we can talk and talk and talk, but if the person we're talking to doesn't hear us, it's just going to get stuck. And that's why so many people have neck issues and jaw issues and stiff necks and things like that, because they're not communicating, or they're not being heard, or they're not given the opportunity. So journaling is fantastic for that. But what I do say, because I'm not a believer in giving somebody homework if they're not going to do it, in the sense of, if you're not a person who meditates, I'm not going to tell you to go and sit and chant for an hour. Okay, you're not going to do it. I am going to tell you to try and find something creative. If you're not a writer, if you're not going to journal, I can tell immediately. A lovely little tool is, if you don't have yourself as a contact in your phone, make yourself a contact in your phone and send yourself WhatsApp voice notes. Because here's the thing, you've got a horrible boss. You can't sit there and tell your boss that they're horrible and that they're an idiot or whatever, all the things you want to say, swear at them, do what you want to do. So it all sits here. But it has to come out. So you leave yourself a voice note as if you were speaking to your boss. And allowing that emotion that's building up here to come out. And the thoughts that are staying in here, so now we're talking about emotionally and mentally, the thoughts that are getting stuck in here, we have to get them out. So those are the two of the biggest things, that are tools that I give people to do.
Okay. I think I love that. I think I like it. I didn't know about this voice note thing, and as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wow, makes sense. Makes sense. Another thing I do, what I've realized recently, is I have this social media. Okay, this requires one to be very what, confident and somehow free spirited. What I do is I have this TikTok account whereby I just vent, healthy venting. I just vent, and everybody comments on the comment section like, "Oh, I relate. See, I have spoken and I've been heard." So it works for me.
And that's
It's
stated by the comments as well, you know, which,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Like, so that's what I do. I feel like that's some sort of a healing session for me. So I feel like, yeah. No, this is amazing, Angela. This is true. This is really amazing. So can you maybe um plug us with these tools? What can I do? Maybe okay. Say that I have journaled, I have sent myself these voice notes, but I'm feeling this knot in my sacral chakra or my solar plexus. Maybe there's just this knot down there. How do I relieve that? Because the heart chakra, we've said that maybe we can use our hands to release the throat chakra and the third eye, speak. Yeah, just release. But what about this knot I'm feeling in my sacral chakra, in my solar plexus, maybe?
Okay, so we're talking about anxiety basically, because that's what it is. Okay. So anxiety, let's just look at what is anxiety. Anxiety is a lack of control. Okay. And that's exactly our solar plexus. That's why we feel anxiety in our solar plexus. Our solar plexus is our chakra of personal control. Okay. So lack of control. That's what it is. I can't control what's going to happen tomorrow. I can't. That is what anxiety is. It's fear. Now, this is where the spiritual side of things comes in. So now we've kind of talked emotional, we've talked physical, we've talked mental. Fear, if you fear something, what you're saying is, I don't trust that the universe has my best interests. So this is where anxiety is one of those things that does take a lot of work. It's not a simple come see me for one session and let's do it, especially if it's crippling anxiety. That's where the conversation comes into play about the universe is not inherently cruel. All the things that happen to us for our own good. So you've got to try and change that fear into acceptance, that no matter what happens tomorrow is what is meant to happen. And I'm going to learn from it. And whether it's a good or bad thing, it's a growing experience. So for me, it becomes a bit of a game. Like if something crappy happens, something that's not great, I try as much as I can. I'm also human. I have my down days. But I go, okay, why did that happen? Let me just think about it. What is this teaching me? Why would this have happened to me? Sometimes I can't figure it out. And that's okay too. Because where I've got to, I hope for the most part in my life is going, even if I can't figure it out, I know that there's a reason for it. And at some point, it'll become clear. So when you have that knot in your stomach, it's about talking yourself through it. It's going, okay, why do I have a knot? What am I worried about? What am I concerned about? Okay, I'm concerned because I have to give a presentation at work tomorrow. And what happens if I stuff it up? Okay. So what happens if you stuff it up? What happens? What is the worst? Okay, maybe you could get fired. Okay, that's pretty hectic. Is that really going to happen though? Is it? You know what I mean? Okay, you are going to learn what you did wrong. And did you prep enough? You know what I mean? For whatever reason, have you had enough knowledge? Do you have to learn more about that? Every single thing is a learning experience. So as soon as you can talk yourself through it, you kind of go, it's actually not as bad as I thought it was. Okay, I can handle this. What is the worst that can happen? This is the worst that can happen. Okay, so, and I'll say to my client, okay, so let's talk about the worst thing. You get fired. Okay, what then? What then? Right, so then, was that job for you? Do you really want to be working for a company that's going to fire you if you make a mistake? So maybe you're meant to be looking elsewhere. So immediately you just reframe the whole story for people and they go, you're right. You're absolutely right. And then the anxiety then tends to dissipate. But again, it's something you have to work at. You have to work at it and you have to talk yourself through it.
Okay, no, I understand. I feel it, Angela. So in short, I feel like this means that just decenter societal expectations and standards, and focus on what's happening for you, specifically you, tailor-made for you, something like.
Absolutely. And I love what you just said because instead of going, why is this happening to me? You can ask, why is this happening for me? Yeah. Yeah. It's a
Love it.
beautiful way to reframe it.
Love it. Love it. Now, Angela, I feel like we've addressed it all. Yeah, we've taken this physical body into understanding it emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and otherwise. So, yeah, I feel like I'm cooked. I feel like I'm cooked. So please, can you help us just summarize this whole thing? Yeah, according to you, what do you want us to, yeah, just summarize.
Summarize, and especially as you are talking about the physical body, is that we are not just our physical body. And we can, absolutely, we've got to take care of our physical body, absolutely. But we're not just that. We're not, we are the sum of our parts. And our parts are more than just the physical. So I'd say make sure on a daily basis that you're ticking the boxes of everything. Am I ticking the physical? Am I ticking the emotional? Am I ticking the mental? And am I ticking the spiritual? Now, when you say spiritual, it doesn't mean religious. It doesn't even mean about believing what I believe in the universe. Okay, but we all have to have a belief system of sorts. And maybe your belief is just in yourself and energy, and that I'm made up of energy, and so access that energy, work on that energy. People get weirded out by the word spiritual. They do. Either from a religious point of view, where they believe that when we say we're spiritual, we're anti-religion, or from the other side, where they're going, I don't want anything to do with anything religious, anything spiritual, and they go, spiritual is woohoo. No, it's not. It's not. So yeah, tick all the boxes, make sure that you are looking after yourself on every level, and that your energy is being looked after on every level.
Sure. Love it, love it. You just summarized it amazingly well. Look after your energy. You are energy. In as much as you seem physical, the flesh looks solid and physical is vibrating. So energy vibrates. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Angela, I feel like no, this is perfect. Where can we find you and all that? Yeah, just tell us, tell us, tell us.
You can find me. I have yes, the Instagram account. Sometimes I'm so dope. I'm like, yes, well, everyone knows I have an Instagram account. But my healing center is Angel's Touch. And I do have a website. It's angels touch.co.za. Everything's on there. Yeah, so it's got my contact details, everything on there. I do work in Johannesburg, but I also do, that's the other great thing with energy work, is you can work what we call distant healing or absent healing. So you don't actually have to be here either. So I can work remotely. I think that's a good way of putting it. I also have courses if people want to learn. Oh, that's something I need to add. Everybody can do this. This is not a special gift. Every single person can do this. And whether you want to do it for yourself, just to help heal yourself, or whether you want to help other people, it's an incredible modality. So yeah, I just encourage people to give it a try. Find a Reiki practitioner near you. Give it a try. It's amazing.
Amazing, amazing, Angela. Love it. I love the words of encouragement that anybody can do this. It's not just me because the energy is everywhere. It's from the universe. It's from source. So anybody can use it. So it's up to you to decide whether to work on yourself so that you become clean energy that will clean another person's dirty bathtub. I love that.
Yes. Yes.
No, Angela, no, thank you from the Beacon of Light and Angel's Touch. Thank you, everybody. Good day. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my God, sorry guys, I can't end the live. I'm trying to end the live.